Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to News Around the World on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuf. The headlines: Tinubu declares state of emergency on Nigeria's security training institutions. Court clears PDP to hold elective convention, orders INEC to monitor events. Reeves refuses to rule out tax rises and budget, as she says she will make necessary choices. Dick Cheney, influential Republican vice president to George W. Bush, dies. Osimhen targets Champions League glory to Galatasaray. And now the details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared a state of emergency over the nation's security training facilities, citing the outdated conditions as a threat to the effectiveness of Nigeria's internal security agencies. The Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah made a disclosure during an on-site inspection of the facilities in Lagos, as the announcement specifically addresses the training institutions of the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and other security agencies. The development was confirmed by Mbah, who heads the National Economic Council, had a committee tasked with revamping security training institutions. Addressing newsmen, Governor Mbah said that what they observed today is consistent with what President Tinubu recognized when he visited the council chamber on October 23 and personally approved the inauguration of this ad hoc committee tasked with overhauling all training institutions of the Nigeria Police Force and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, has said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains calm and focused on strengthening national security and fostering unity amid international concerns about the country's internal situation. Speaking with a State House correspondent after a meeting with the President at the Presidential Villa in Abuja today, Idris said the discussion was part of his routine consultations with Tinubu, adding that issues surrounding recent comments from the United States also featured prominently. The Minister of Information also said the President has called for calm among Nigerians, assuring that his government is taking concrete steps to ensure better security of lives and property of all citizens and residents in the country. In many Nigerian kitchens and roadside food stalls, the sizzling sound of frying oil is a familiar tune. However, with the rising food prices and the increase in cost of basic commodities, reusing cooking oil has become a common and practical practice among households and small-scale food vendors, from frying akara and yam to preparing soups and other local delicacies. One bottle of oil often serves in multiple purposes before being replaced. Agidigbo FM News correspondent Abiodun Loyede reports on the practice of reusing cooking oil. Bolanle Badmos brings a report.
The reusage of cooking oil has become a common practice, especially among food vendors and households in Nigeria. From frying different snacks with an oil to making akara, yam, and even cooking soup and preparing other local delicacies with the same oil. Many people find themselves reusing oil several times before changing it. The reason behind this practice often comes down to cost of cooking oil. Buying large quantities of oil has become expensive for both individuals and small business owners. For many, reusing oil is simply a way to manage resources and reduce waste. In an interview with Agidigbo FM News, Ms. Abidemi, an oil trader, shared that the price of cooking oil has reduced a bit, but not everyone can still to afford it. Some vendors say that as long as the oil is filtered and still looks good, it can be used again for frying. Others believe that oil should only be used once or twice before it begins to lose quality. In another interview with Agidigbo FM News, Mr. Olamide Badmos, who fries akara and snacks, shared how he reuses his oil for frying after filtering it and also changes it every 3 days.
If you buy at larger quantity, it will be avoidable for you. But if you buy per bottle, it is not advisable to buy because there won't be gain. There won't be gain. But if you buy at larger quantity, like I buy keg, so we bought keg yesterday. So tomorrow again we are buying another one. So that will make it third day.
Consumers, on the other hand, have mixed opinions. Some say they are not too concerned about how many times oil has been reused, as long as the food tastes fine, while others prefer freshly fried snacks made with new oil. In an interview with Agidigbo FM News, Mrs. Dasola shared how she uses the same oil she used to fry plantain to also cook soup. In the end, the reuse of cooking oil remains a matter of personal choice and economic necessity. The most important is maintaining cleanliness, proper storage, and awareness of when the oil is no longer suitable for use. Bolanle Badmos, Agidigbo FM News.
An Oyo State High Court, presided over by Justice A.L. Akintola, has cleared the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to hold its elective national convention for Ibadan, and also ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to monitor and observe the convention. In a ruling delivered on Monday, November 3, 2025, copies of which were posted to the PDP platform today, Justice Akintola unequivocally cleared the PDP to proceed with its elective national convention scheduled for November 15 and 16, 2025 at the Lagos Salami Stadium at Damasigba, Ibadan, Oyo State. In a decisive pronouncement, Justice Akintola ordered INEC to deploy monitors and observers to the convention to ensure full compliance with electoral laws, thereby reinforcing the transparency and legitimacy of the exercise. The court also directed the chairman of the National Convention Organizing Committee, Omar Ahmad Ofentiri, to proceed with all arrangements relating to the exercise. The Oyo State government has commenced the demolition of structures encroaching on road reserves following the expiration of an eviction notice earlier served on Monday, 13th October 2025. The 14-day eviction notice, which expired on Monday, 27th October 2025, was followed by a reminder last week, serving as a final grace period for the affected traders to vacate the road setbacks and walkways. Following the expiration of the grace period, the Oyo State Rule of Law Enforcement Authority, in collaboration with officials from the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, the Oyo State Road Transport Management Authority (OITMA), Environmental Task Force, as well as the Nigeria Police, Amotekun Corps, and other state security operatives on Monday began the demolition of illegal structures on the designated routes. Commenting on the exercise, the chairperson of OYRLEA, Honorable Justice Aderonke Adekemi Aderemi, reaffirmed the authority's commitment to maintaining a sane, clean, and safe environment across the state, emphasizing the importance of intensified enforcement to uphold the rule of law, and noted that the evacuation of illegal structures and containers on road setbacks and walkways along these routes, particularly ahead of the commission of the international airport, is essential. Acting on the directive of the state government, roadside traders and those operating in containers along Airport Road, Old Ife, Ibadan, and Onipepeye areas of Ibadan have been urged to comply fully as the grace period for relocation has elapsed. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kuliamza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. Chancellor Rachel Reeves delivered unusual pre-budget speech in Downing Street earlier today. Reeves, in her budget, promised to continue to deliver on the priorities of the British people, including cutting NHS waiting lists, national debt, and improving the cost of living. The Chancellor also pledges to do what is necessary to protect families from high inflation and interest rates, although she did not rule out tax rises, as she vowed to make the necessary choices on November 26. Pregnant teenager Bella Colley, who admitted to drug trafficking charges in Georgia, confirmed She felt happy and relieved as she was free from prison. The 19-year-old from Billingham Teesside had initially faced a possible 20 years in jail, but prosecutor made a last-minute change to the terms of the plea bargain. She was detained on 10th of May, having been arrested at Georgia International Airport when 12 kg of marijuana and 2 kg of hashish were found in her luggage. Lawyers representing the teenager had been locked in negotiation with judicial authorities and made the changes to the plea deal due to her pregnancy and age status, although Bella Scully's family had recently paid £137,000 to reduce her sentence to 2 years. However, when she was told she had been freed after 5 months and 24 days in custody, the teenager broke into a huge smile. And that ends the news. From William's studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya. America's most powerful modern vice president and chief architect of the war on terror, Dick Cheney, who helped lead the country into the ill-fated Iraq war on faulty assumptions, has died, according to a statement from his family. He was 84. His beloved wife of 61 years, Lynn, his daughters and other family members were with him as he passed. He was said to have died due to complications of pneumonia, cardiac and vascular disease. The 46th vice president, who served alongside Republican President George W. Bush for 2 terms between 2001 and 2009, was for decades a towering and polarizing Washington power player. Bush described Cheney in a statement today as a decent, honorable man. History will remember him as among the finest public servants of his generation, a patriot who brought integrity, high intelligence, and seriousness of purpose to every position. In his final years, Cheney, still a hardline conservative, nevertheless became largely ostracized from his party over his intense criticism of President Donald Trump, who he branded a coward and the greatest ever threat to the republic. Police in Tanzania have warned people against sharing online images that might cause panic. Now, internet access has been restored after election related protests in which the opposition says hundreds were killed. The country's main opposition party, Chadema, says it has documented hundreds of deaths in the protest, which broke out during last Wednesday's election over the disqualification of President Samia Suluhu Hassan's leading challengers. Hassan, who was sworn back into office on Monday after being credited with 98% of the vote, acknowledged people died, but our government has called the opposition's death toll hugely exaggerated. That ends the news from Koleamzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
You're welcome back once again. And now the exciting world of sports. The Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has set his sights on leading Galatasaray to glory in the UEFA Champions League this season. The Nigerian star, who sued a permanent 75 million move from Napoli, said it's time for the Turkish champions to make a strong mark in Europe after years of domestic success. The 2023 CAF Player of the Year added that he feels deeply connected to the club and is determined to give his all. After scoring 37 goals last season and making a record-breaking start in Europe, Osimhen looks ready to lead Galatasaray's charge for continental glory. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Tinubu declares state of emergency on Nigeria's security training institutions. Court declares PDP to hold elective convention in Oyo, orders INEC to monitor events. Reeves refuses to rule out tax rises and budgets, as she says she will make necessary choices. Dick Cheney, influential Republican vice president to George Bush, dies. Osimhen targets Champions League glory with Galatasaray.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo887fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories, and don't forget that you can listen to our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuf. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out-of-school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of